So today we're gonna have an audio-only version and/or podcast thing. So it is indeed just a podcast. And so for all the YouTube listeners and/or watchers, I'm actually very sorry, but we're gonna talk about something incredibly important today. It's gonna be about habits, and in the end, I think it is also gonna be about behavior, just because they're so they have something to do with each and another. But yeah, and this is an article written by James Clear, and it is also on the jamesclear.com website. The article is called 31 Sentence Stories from People Who Have Built Better Habits. And I have actually kind of overlooked the whole piece, and it apparently has not too much to do with people talking about something, I guess. Well, there is some quotes, so might have been wrong there. But I think it is just a really, really great summary about the whole habit thing that James Clear really, I would say at least, perfectionated by also writing the book Atomic Habits, which is an amazing book about habits and how to build habits and how to exchange them and so on. And I've been talking about it very recently, and I am not that up to date. And I also think that he's updated his website. I mean, it just really looks amazing from a design perspective on. But anyway, I'm willing to start because it is such an incredibly interesting and incredibly important topic. And yeah, I truly hope that people are going to listen also on YouTube. But if you don't want to listen, then please just check out the article. I at least hope that it is going to meet my expectations. But the article is going to be down in the description, linked, and also in the show notes if you are on a podcast. So in this article, I would like to share 30 one-sentence stories, quote unquote, about building better habits. They are not all exactly one sentence, but they are very short. I mean, it's a great title, isn't it? None of these stories are mine. They were sent to me by readers of Atomic Habits. My hope is that these examples will illustrate how real people are putting the book into practice. They will show you what people are actually doing to build good habits and break bad ones, and hopefully they will spark some ideas for how you can do the same. I have divided the stories into categories, whatever, that roughly corresponds to different sections or ideas in the book. And I would also say that by you're going to find certain articles and certain things by just Googling those titles. And I'm also going to point out that this isn't a title or a section. So the first section is identity-based habits, which is a really fucked up thing, but yeah. One of the central ideas in the book is the concept of building identity-based habits, quote unquote, which essentially recommends focusing on the type of person you wish to become rather than the outcome you wish to achieve. One reader named Roland used the idea to improve his eating habits. I stopped eating unhealthy food via identity change. He wrote, I tried many times in the past, but it became easy, or actually natural, only after I had made the conscious decision that I wanted to be someone who eats healthy. Instead of aiming for I want to stop eating bad food, I tried changing the mindset to I am someone, which is the identity, I am someone that eats healthy and lives a healthy life. It changes how you approach things, which I think just makes sense. I mean, if it is your fucking identity, of course, you're gonna do something about things. Another reader named Robert employed this idea to help him quit smoking. He wrote, I recently stopped smoking, and the difference between I don't smoke and I can't smoke is a powerful trainer of my brain. The positive message of I don't smoke, which is, and this is something that I add now, something that you consciously decide and you therefore feel empowered to do so and or in charge, is that I have not, quote unquote, given up anything. I'm not sacrificing a pleasure. I am investing in my future, happiness, and also well-being. Like all strategies in the book, the concept of identity-based habits can be combined with other habit-building tactics. For instance, one reader used an external reward of $10 to reinforce the desired identity. I told myself I am no longer a drinker. Then after each day of non-drinking, I gave myself $10 to buy something nice rather than poison like clothes and or household items. Today, I no longer need the allowance and I'm 6 years sober. which apparently is part of chapter 2 of Atomic Habits, covers these strategies in much greater detail. Yeah, of course, this article or also all articles that he wrote are just a slimmer version of the whole thing, but I would definitely still say that it is an amazing article and you should definitely check it out. Changing the cues. Another way you can change a habit is by identifying and altering the cues that prompt your behavior. This is precisely what many readers have done. One woman named Lisa cultivated a reading habit by increasing her exposure to books. I've read more books by continually having 20 to 30 books on hold at the library, she said. It saves time on browsing for books. I always have new things to read with a 3-week deadline. Heather used a similar strategy to reinforce the simple habit of drinking more water. I used color and placement for visual reminding and motivation. I poured water in a bright aqua water bottle, my favorite color, and placed it on my nightstand so I couldn't miss it when I woke up. Other readers have done the opposite, which I actually just wanted to point out. They reduced exposure to negative cues. One man named Max managed to eliminate his e-cigarette habit. I quit e-cigarettes with a combination of determination and also quitting coffee at the same time, which was a trigger for me as I'd smoke and drink coffee together in the morning. Which, by the way, is something that you can also do with quite everything. Is a bit just far-fetched, I would say. But, for example, a lot of people have the habit of doing something while doing something else. For example, some people drink when they're out with people. And of course, you could be like, well, I'm just not going to meet people anymore. Of course, this is not sustainable and also not good, but it is probably going to really help you with your drinking habit because you're not around people and therefore there's no cue for you or therefore also reason for you to drink. But yeah, as I said, this is not sustainable. There's definitely going to be some different ways to build another habit because we don't break habits, we exchange them. And of course, if you also try to not eat certain foods, then not having them at home is just going to make things way better because then there is no way you can eat it, because of course, it's difficult to say, but I wouldn't say that people would go grocery shopping just for this one singular thing, I would actually say that we are way too fucking lazy to do so, and therefore we just stop eating these things just because we're not having them around, as the other person did it in the opposite way with the water bottle, like always having it in sight, which by the way also really helped me to drink more water because I just don't drink anything, besides, a bit of coffee before I work out. And then that's usually it, unfortunately. Habit stacking, which is the next point or the next section. Another popular tactic in the book is something I call habit stacking. It's strategy I first learned from Stanford professor B.J. Fogg. He refers to it as anchoring because you anchor or stack your new habit onto a current one. One reader used habit stacking to create a simple rule for learning a new language. When I first moved to China and started to learn Mandarin, which by the way now is a quote, I committed to strike up a conversation with the taxi driver whenever I went into a cab. It took a lot of cab rides, 5+ daily. I did it for 2 years, no matter the time of the day or how tired I was, and I now speak fluent Chinese, or Mandarin therefore. Similarly, a reader named David told me, I meditate for 20 minutes after brushing my teeth in the morning. Linking new habits onto a keystone one seems to work. You'll find all sorts of habit stacking examples in chapter 5 of Atomic Habits. Which, by the way, is something that I have noticed in a negative way, and I've been talking about it for quite some time, and I've told the story, but I have actually forgotten about brushing my teeth after I've stopped eating something in the morning. With intermittent fasting, I just, stopped eating in the morning because of health reasons, and it's also difficult, and difficult things are often worth it. But in the end, it was a little bit of a fucked up situation because I've just forgotten about brushing my teeth. Because it was always like, okay, I wake up, I eat something, or I just, take a shit and then eat something or something like that. And after I've eaten something, I brush my teeth. Just also because I'm not a person that brushes the teeth first and then eats something, because I find that really fucking stupid. But anyway, and because I didn't eat anything, which is like the part in the whole chain before brushing my teeth, I've forgotten about it. Environment design part 1. And then there's part 2. But yeah, I've actually wanted to finish it up today, this article, but I think that I'm not going to be able to do so. But anyway, I have written about the power of environment and the importance of choice architecture in the past. The simple truth is our environment often shapes our behavior. Many readers are using this fact to their benefit by installing some of the environment design strategies I share in the book. For starters, you can break a bad habit by increasing the friction in your environment, which is something that I've meant earlier, by the way. So one woman named Sid, C-Y-D, curtailed her snacking habit with the following strategy. My husband still loves his Pringles, as I do, but they are now kept in a locked car that's parked in the cold. It works. Yeah, there's a lot of friction, a lot of friction to eating those fucking things because they're out in the cold. Multiple readers are learning to wake up earlier. One reader named Daniel told me, I jump out of bed every morning without any hesitation. The reason? The only way to turn off my alarm is to scan a QR code I keep in the bathroom. This worked wonders for me. Well, I would actually say so as well. This is a fucking good one. Chris utilized both environment design and habit stacking to stop sleeping in. He wrote, I have a bad habit, hitting snooze. To eliminate it, I made it hard and put a phone in the bathroom, or the phone in the bathroom. The phone then became a habit stack. The first thing I do when I wake up, turn off alarm, go to bathroom, brush teeth, etc. One of my favorite examples was sent to me by J Money. J.Money, the personal finance blogger. He wrote, I brush my teeth right after putting my kids to bed every night at around 8 p.m., which has prevented me from eating and drinking alcohol at night for years. Because who wants to rebrush them again? Yeah, actually kind of the case. We're so lazy fuckers. It's insane. It's a great example of creating just enough friction to keep your bad habits at bay. Of course, you can also just overdo it, but this is a topic for a different time, maybe. Let's, by the way, see how long I'm recording. Can you please just work? 13 minutes. So I think that I'm going to go through the next 2 parts, and then that's going to be it. Environments design part 2, and then also part 3. Part 2. Typically, we think of designing physical spaces, but you can use the same principles to shape your digital environment as well. For instance, a reader named Matthew wrote to me and said, I significantly cut down on mindless Instagram time. Simply logging out of the app makes a big difference. Yeah, because who wants to log in all the time? Another reader named Viet went even further. I used my own laziness to my own advantage with my bad habit of browsing Facebook. Deleting Facebook and having to go through the one extra step of going to the website and logging in manually was enough barrier for me to not get back on. And Rahul did something similar to kill his video game habit. For gaming addiction, I removed my graphic card, he wrote. For excessive net surfing on mobile, I uninstalled apps and removed the Chrome browser. That's a pretty tough one, yeah. Environment design part 3. On the flip side, you can foster good habits by reducing the friction in your environment. Natalie started picking up her cluttered clothes and building better cleaning habits simply by reducing the number of steps between her and the laundry basket. I quit leaving my socks all over the floor by putting a little basket beside the door to collect them in. Similar strategies can be particularly useful for building new exercise habits. One reader named Justin sent me the following message. I started going to a gym that was less than a mile from my house. This took away the time and excuses. I was never consistent at exercise, but now I work out 8 to 10 times a week. CrossFit, running, and cycling. I've been going strong for 2.5 years. By the way, this is insane. 8 to 10 times, which is at least every single day. Well, I like it too. this is the problem. Like sometimes it's easier to just overdo it after some time than to just stop and be like, well, it's unhealthy. But yeah. Another reader wrote, I've been running at 6 a.m. for the past 2 years. Oh, I always put my running gear, garment, compression sleeves, shoes, etc. into a neat pile the night before. When I get up, I just get dressed and go out the door. I've even heard from readers who go to sleep wearing their running clothes. All they have to do is stumble out the door in the morning. Yeah, this is also a really good idea. For more on environmental science, see chapter 6 and 12 of Atomic Habits. But I'm going to end the episode there, so I wish you the best. Please take care of yourself and don't forget about your purpose. You know, what you want to do and what you want to achieve. And keep that in mind. You know, never ever forget about that. And never forget about life actually being way fucking better than not living. Something really crucial. And also don't forget about the amazing people that are surrounding you and being grateful for that and also showing that. You know, because just because you are grateful doesn't mean that they know that you are grateful for having them. And it is very important to show them because it is not necessarily something that a lot of people are doing. And I think it is worth it. I think it is amazing. And yeah, gonna see you the next time. So bye bye.